Good to run into Boog a couple of weeks back on campus. One of the featured alumni here for a big event being put on by LSU alumni. We'll be getting that out, the information on how you get involved and see some of the social media that'll be working around it. Of course, Booger Mcfarland heading into year 2 on Monday Night Football. Masters Week here with Augusta National. Par 3 today, Family Day over in Augusta. Cranks up tomorrow morning. Rory McIlroy is the favorite who will tee off tomorrow morning at 5-1. Tiger Woods going to go off at 14-1. Boog and I both big Cat fans of Tiger. You think he can get it done this season, Boog? How are we feeling of Tiger going into another major tournament?
Well, I kind of have tempered expectations. Obviously, I'm a big Cat fan. It's going to come down to whether or not he can make some putts. I think the driver's finally figured out. I think he'll have all the nostalgia you can have. Everybody's going to be rooting for him, but he's going to have to make some putts. I'm gonna do a little humble brag. T-Bob will love this one. So I've played the course 3 times, and you can land 747s in the fairways out there. But what the game comes down to at Augusta National is can you chip and putt off the tight lies and on those bent greens. And if he can do that, he'll have as good a chance as anybody to win on Sunday afternoon.
What's the best you ever shot?
The first time I played, I'll give you a play-by-play. So the first time I played,
chill out. Just give me a score.
94, and the best I've ever shot out there is 88. So I've been between 88 and 94 the 3 times I've played it.
16 over is not going to cut it, Boog.
Best hole from a personal round there. When you're just out there by yourself with the Augusta National, personally, what was the best part of the course?
For me, it's when you get to the back 9. You know, you always hear people talk about the back 9 on Sunday. And so I got to 10, I bogeyed 10, birdied 11, and I never touched the green. Never touched the green and birdied 11 because my second shot was right at the mound. And the caddy's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, get it on the green. What do you mean what I want to do? He's like, no, you want to chip it or putt it? I'm like, you tell me. He's like, I want you to putt it up that hill there. I'm like, dude, the hole is like 20 feet the other way. He's like, no, just trust me. So I putted it over a mound. I mean, it really looked like putt-putt golf, and the thing went in. So my claim to fame is I birdied birdie number 11 in Amen Corner.
Wow.
I'm trying to sit here and hate, but that's actually a pretty great story. Also, so you have like some firsthand experience with how tricky the greens at the Masters truly are.
100%. And it's not that they're tricky, T-Bob. It's that they're so fast and they can control how you play them. Here's what I mean by that. You know, they have this sub-air system. So no matter how much it rained yesterday and today or whatever, that those things will be firm, and it's bent grass. And if you never played on bent grass, imagine taking the highest thread count sheet you can find and laying on it, and how smooth and how silky that feels.
It's great.
That's how bent grass feels.
Patrick Peterson was telling me that it was a moment for him as a young black man from the South when he was standing on hole number 1 with Larry Fitzgerald on the Augusta National. He had a sense of accomplishment about him that he had never felt anywhere, whether it was a football field, whether it was a business setting. Did you have that similar type of feeling when you were out there?
100%. And I'll paint another scenario for you. So we're on the driving range, and the member that I'm playing with says, hey, guys, it's our time. And it's me and Derek Brooks. And so we walk to number 1, and when we get to number 1, there's a group in front of us. There's also a group that was on the range with us that's kind of behind us. So you got about 12 players, 12 caddies. You know, we had breakfast that morning, and we were the only 2 black guys playing that day. So some of the cooks and people that were working in the dining room knew that we were teeing off soon, so they were kind of peeping out the door. And the group in front of my group says, hey, guys, why don't you guys go ahead? And the member looks at me and says, all right, Anthony, you lead us off.
Damn.
And so there was a moment there where there's probably 30 people on 1 tee at Augusta National, and the member says, you lead us off.
Wow.
And it felt like time stopped for a moment because you have to understand what Augusta National is. There's history. Blacks weren't always welcome there. And for me and Derek to stand on number 1 tee at a place that still looks 50 years behind time, but I know it's more progressive now, especially with black members and female members and things of that nature. But it almost felt like time stopped at that moment. So I can definitely understand what Patrick Peterson meant by that. And not only was it a sense of accomplishment, it was a sense that we're in a changing world. And for me and a lot of other young African-American golfers and professionals, it's good to be a part of a changing world. And it was a bit of history.
How'd the
that's
drive
a great
go?
story.
How'd the drive go once you hit it?
I hit it so far left of one fairway. It was unreal.
No,
No, seriously. Okay,
no.
listen. The only place you can't hit it on number one is in the bunkers or right. So I hit it so far left of one, which was, guess what? It was 8 fairway. And then I had a pitching wedge over the trees back to one green. I made bogey.
Okay,
but
okay.
to get off of one tee and get to that point was so fun. Now, Derek Brooks played the first 5 holes. He was 1 under through the first 5, and then I mentioned to him, "Hey man, you're 1 under through the first 5, and you 90 the rest of the day." So,
Damn, Derek Brooks is a good golfer. I never knew that.
well, I'm not saying he's a good golfer. He just had a hot start.
Oh, okay.
Booger
Not
McFarland
better
from-
than me.
Booger
Not better
McFarland
than
from
me,
Monday
John.
Night Football with a little golf knowledge here as it's Augusta Nationals Masters Week. They get going to tomorrow. So have you been to the tournament as a patron? Do you go or do you just watch from home?
No, I've done it all. I've been to the tournament. I've been to the practice round. I've played it. I've seen it when it's very docile. I've seen it when it's just it's buzzing. And the one thing that I'll tell people there that they don't realize on TV is that people always say TV does it no justice. Well, okay, what does that mean? I'll give you a prime example. The walk from one tee to one fairway, you have to go down. Imagine coming from the upper bowl to the lower bowl in Tiger Stadium. That's how far down you have to go and then go back up to one fairway. You really can't see that on TV, but it's like a 40-foot drop to walk from one tee. You walk down about 40 feet, and then you climb back up a hill to get to one fairway. And the elevation changes are not done any justice by television. So what I would tell everyone, the reason this place is revered is not only for Bobby Jones and Clifford Roberts and everything that they did. It's revered because it's the one major that's always at the same spot. And the piece of property in Augusta, Georgia, is maybe the most iconic piece of property in the world. Like, when you look at it, you recognize it. And I think that if you've never been, even if you have to jump the fence and get arrested, you should definitely go check it out.
Boog, is Patrick Reed the biggest villain in this tournament?
You know, T-Bob, it's kind of crazy because I think, I don't know if he's the biggest villain, but he's definitely not the most well-liked guy. And I think a lot of people look at him because of his attitude, number one, but they also look at his family situation. You know, as a guy who grew up without a dad, I know what it's like to not have family around. And for him to come to Augusta and have his family literally a stone's throw away, and he doesn't even acknowledge them or doesn't even see them or hasn't seen them in several years, I think a lot of people out there wonder what could take a man to go to that point, or what could put you in a position where you would not want to even acknowledge. Listen, I understand there may be things happen. Everybody's families had situations and issues, but what could drive a man to a point that he didn't even want to acknowledge the people that brought him into this world? I think that's the thing that puzzles a lot of people about Patrick Reed.
Both of us are pulling for Tiger. Give me one name other than him to watch that could win it.
It's a name that people probably are giving up on, but I'm going to tell you, something happens when he drives down Magnolia Lane. That's the guy from Texas, Jordan Spieth.
Wow.
There you go.
16-1 odds. I like it. Boog, great stuff this morning. Good stories, man, and a great phone. Thank you.
Later, guys.
Close that hour one next.